Hello, you've managed to be the first person to get into the stream, but I assume other people will in a minute. Depends how long it takes for the notifications to get sent out. Right, something totally illegible, so remove that. It's being slow again. Hopefully I won't have to stop and start the stream, because I think I did one before and it didn't send notifications out because I only had about 5 people come into it, even though I normally get about 50 people initially. If you're on about that new British one, which is an American one, it's just an old helmet that they're buying. It's not actually a new thing. Let me check what you're on about. Yeah, it's that American one that's been around for quite a while. It's not a new thing, it's just Britain's buying it from America rather than actually making something ourselves anymore. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. It says 19 people in the stream now, so hopefully it's actually sent the notifications out. But I was just saying that the problem with these is often it doesn't, because you only get like 1 person or 2 people come on for the first couple of minutes of the stream. So hopefully, when it updates the thing again, it will be an actual amount of people in, you know, watching it and making sense. Do you mean like those ones that are designed for cyclists? If so, no. Because I've got no need for them. Oh, are you saying you have had? Is it cut your first comment off? Because it sounds like you made another comment and it's not gone on. No, well, only in the sensible regard of, you know, having a couple of weeks' food and water worth in the house. Yeah, they will do, because, like, the quality of those masks is very low, so you can't ever get one that looks like, you know, completely good as new condition. Yeah, but what I'm saying, Jack, did you post a comment that's not visible? Because it basically looked like you got cut off. Because it says you've had pollution masks, and then you didn't say like I'm looking for a mask or something like that. The S10's, because the S10 has been succeeded by the FM12 and several other masks, so they're not going to make S10s when they're inferior to FM12s. Avon still makes FM12s. It's probably that it thinks you're trying to say something in the message and it's hiding it. As in, you want to restrict your airflow. No, like I said, I hate the Call of Duty games. The modern ones are all crap, so no, I haven't played COD Roboting. Alright, cool, Mike. I don't know if the notification sent out very well. I don't really get what you're asking me, Jack, because you're saying you want one thing and then you're saying you're not wanting it. So unless YouTube's cutting out more messages again, I don't know quite what you're getting at. Oh, so you need a mask for exercising in, but one where your air is bad. Just get any gas mask then. Get like a 3M mask, kind of face mask, whatever. Do you mean, am I intending to buy any? Yeah, I did see your previous message, but didn't have a chance to reply to it. But is that just a civilian one? It's just hard to, you know, talk to multiple people at once. Now my mind's gone blank. Yeah, but he can't get a safe filter for a GP5 easily unless he gets an FP5. I'd say a 3M mask is probably better because you're going to have easier time breathing through that, especially with dual filters and they're easy to get. But a hardware store should have proper half-face masks. Like, not dust masks, I mean the actual half-face ones. Yeah, because the mask warms your everything up basically because there's more resistance on the air. They're not really any better. Military masks are designed to just be really tough and kind of, you know, work with weapons systems and everything. If you just want it for exercising, in any mask would really do, as long as you can breathe through it easily. And a 3M mask with 2 filters on will allow you to breathe easier than most single filter military masks. I'm sure I have seen pictures of the L85A3, but you know, I'm not all that interested in it because the L85 was meant to be replaced almost instantly and it wasn't. They kind of just had to make it work. Yeah, will do, but that'll probably still be a couple of months off because I'm not hitting 3,000 subscribers a month again now, so that'll still be probably January time, I imagine, like I get to 50k. I work at the weekend, so, you know, I didn't do anything, I was working. It's all gone quiet again now. Nobody asking questions. That's the trouble with these YouTube streams. You get people asking questions over the top of each other, and then when there's a quiet moment, nobody's asking questions. Well, don't use the GP5 AGT because it's got asbestos in it. Don't use the filter, I mean get a safe filter for it. Basically, Nick, rebreathers originally were for underwater use because rebreathers predate aqualungs and, you know, like air tank systems for divers. So that they came about before then, but then rebreathers were used later in situations where, you know, you can't breathe the actual air. So they have pros and cons compared to using an air tank. So it's up to the person using it, you know, what's best, most suitable for them. But a rebreather doesn't last forever because the chemical reaction will end or you will suffocate to death. All they do is prolong, you know, like a certain amount of oxygen or air. Do you mean a smock and a parka is how they're cut? Alright, cool. Glad you like the videos, Caleb. Alright, look at my channel and you can work that out, Ivan. As in a budget gas mask, I'd say just get a 3M mask with particle filters, because that would literally work fine for that. That's probably the cheapest thing you can get reliably new. But for fire, all you can really do is use a particle filter. You know, and filters that protect you from other stuff, like NBC filters, are slightly better because that will protect you from some chemicals in the smoke. But I've said before on videos about masks to do with fires, unless you're using an air tank or whatever, you're not going to be safe because the mask gives you some protection, but you can still suffocate to death from lack of oxygen. Well, we're not really talking about Fallout New Vegas, are we, at the moment, Satya? The Polish MP4B has the best drinking tube I've seen on a mask, which really surprises me because it was like a stopgap system. And then the one they replaced it with wasn't as good. That's not the French version. The French version literally looks identical to the Belgian one as far as I'm aware. That would be a different model of mask. But there's a massive load of Italian, Belgium and French masks that all look very similar, so you're probably thinking of a different mask. The French later had the M53 that replaced the M51, which had a different exhale valve, but that was about it. Alright, cool. You've not missed anything really important so far on the stream. It depends what you mean. For like pocket knives, the one I really like is this sort of one I bought off Weapon Collector, which is a Tangram little folding pocket knife that's in a really good type of stainless steel. It's not like you know, like a 410 stainless or whatever they call it. It's an actually quite a good stainless steel, like easy to keep sharp, and you know, you don't have to worry about cleaning it. But it's not a legal UK carry knife, unfortunately, because it locks, but I like it because it locks, so I just use it, you know, and I can safely carry it. If you mean like military knives, I really like the Fairbairn Sykes. But again, it depends on the category, because you can't have one knife that does everything. Yeah, I just said fixed knife for Fairbairn Sykes. But there's also lots of just nice bayonets as well, and like nice sheath knives. Again, it depends totally what you want the knife for. Now you've got me clicking this. Just have to be careful doing that because it's quite a sharp knife, you know, it's easy to cut yourself on it. I've already done a video on my Soviet gas mask collection. I think you asked me this the other day. It does annoy me that I've actually got these videos in playlists. People just keep asking me to do videos that I've already done. I'm actually going to probably start blocking people just as a warning if they start. Yes, use the search function. It's there. It's divided into civil and military masks. All the masks I have are in it. I did hear a bit about that, but not much. But I don't watch the news, so again, I'm not going to hear much about real-world events because I purposely don't watch the news for a reason. Maybe North Korea. It really depends. I don't think the major superpowers would, but at the same time, North Korea wants them more as an insurance policy against being liberated, in quotation marks. But again, that's getting a bit political, I think, stuff like that. Alright, cool. Yeah, for anybody who's not seen Richard's channel, give him a subscribe because he makes lots of cool blacksmithing things. Weirdest gas masks, you mean like the strangest type ones? There's that really weird French one that has the filter behind the mask. So that one, but I can't think of what its name is. Somebody did tell me, but they didn't make many of them. If it's a rubber NBC suit, it will work, provided there's not a rip in it, because they're very simple. Their whole point is it's just a waterproof suit. Oh yeah, as long as you've not got a scope on it that's so magnified you can't use it at close range. A rifle is a rifle. It's not like a video game where there's stats for it. People tend to die if they get shot. So if you're on about like a bolt action rifle with a scope on it, that could be used pretty much anywhere. Oh, I can see that comment, Slick. I haven't seen any previous comments from you. So I'm assuming if you made previous comments, Slick, they've not shown up because you've put something in there YouTube didn't like. Now, apparently, if you believe the stuff on it, it's two chemicals that are mixed together to make Novichok. It's a binary agent. Shit hits the fan, me too. As in, you know, like a bad scenario. Well, YouTube does seem to be really funny, I've noticed, of people saying that they've made comments that I can't see, where it just sees certain words in the comments and either holds them for a review, and if it does that I can approve them, but quite often it just simply deletes a comment and doesn't tell me. So the person thinks they've put a comment on, but their comment's been instantly deleted by YouTube. If you can't get an S10, just get an FM12. They're actually easier to get FM12s now, just due to production runs, which is just the improved S10, as I said earlier. Oh yeah, I think if people waste loads and loads of money on it, Shackleton, especially if they don't really know how to use any of the stuff they're buying, then it's wasting money. Especially I think people get really paranoid about it. I better be careful of that Astronuts, because the way the UK government is, I don't want to get more involved with anything like that. Books, websites, anywhere it's just called research. I've got loads and loads of books, I've done videos on them before, but you know, like loads and loads of encyclopedia type books, things like that. No, it's nothing to do with updating comments, Nick. It's YouTube deleting people's comments. It happens all the times on these streams that people try and make comments and YouTube just deletes them. For whatever reason, because they do that. It's like if you try and post a link, YouTube just deletes your comment. It's an actual thing. AGT, that's right at the top of the video description. Nope, that's the next comment you've put on Slick, as far as I'm concerned, in terms of what it's showing me. Yeah, it's just, Astro, because the UK's turning into a dictatorship in a lot of ways, there's lots of stuff that's probably not a good idea to do about. Yeah, I've got a car, it's in... Alright. You know what? Bye. I'm just going to give that as a warning to anybody else. People are on purposely asking me to cover stuff that I've done before on videos, or just getting instant blocks now. Because I'm fed up with people kind of trolling like that. BMP. BMP 3 is pretty cool. I mean, if it was to own one myself, a BTR, because it's a wheeled vehicle, which is, you know, easier to own than a tracked vehicle. But I think BMPs are a bit more, you know, like, useful. Are any of the BTRs amphibious? Because I know obviously BMPs are amphibious. Oh, also, yeah, you want to get sources of information, like what Richard was saying, but also from different perspectives, because obviously the author of something's going to have opinions anyway. So you kind of need to use multiple sources and multiple time periods to get good information on stuff. But I've got, yeah, like books in my collection that say things like, you know, like there was one that was saying how great the L85A1 was going to be, and it was going to make all the other nations jealous of Britain because of our small arms industry, when it turned out to be one of the worst rifles ever made. So, you know, there's stuff like that. You have to be very careful on where you get your sources. I'm saying that's why you use multiple sources, and then, you know, you can find common information on them and not something that's very opinionated. Well, we should have just come up with a better rifle to replace it with. I mean, the L1A1 was outdated. It's like if you look at some of the modern 7.62 rifles, they have much better minute over angles and things like that. You know, and like how parts work and compatibility with other parts and things like that. But, you know, they should never have used the L85 without actually testing it properly and doing all the stress tests on it, because they basically threw away a great rifle for a crap one, and then they've been working ever since to salvage the L85 rather than actually replace it. Yeah, I've got a Jaguar crossbow, I've done videos on it. No, I've done a video comparing the GP5 and TF1, so watch that if you want to see the exact differences. I don't have time on the stream to go over all the differences, but the TF1 is more modernised, which is good in some ways and not as good in others. For me, standard. Like I said, I can't shoot them because I'm in the UK, but bullpups in theory should be better, but there's not been many bullpups made that haven't had lots of reliability problems and whatever else. So, in a perfect world, the bullpup is better, but in reality, most companies can make decent regular rifles, but when they put, you know, everything further back, it seems to create lots of problems. There was a FAL carbine. There's a FAL paratrooper model with basically a non-existent barrel and a folding stock, and there was also the SAS bitch gun, which is a FAL without a barrel as well. I think the Australian SAS used it, so it's a thing. But no, the only Discord I'm in is my own one. Well, there's actually better rifles than the AR-15 as well, because like Swiss, some Swiss SIG rifles in 5.56 are better. The Korean Daewoo rifles are actually better because they're basically like the good parts of AR-15s with other good parts in them. Israeli Galils are probably better, you know, than the AR-15s. Not that AR-15 or M16 platform's bad at all, but well, there's already a lot of stuff. The AR-10 doesn't really have any advantage over the FAL. I mean, both are outdated rifles. If you're wanting a modern 7.62 rifle, there's things like the Scar H and other like incredibly precise designated marksman rifles. You base something like that Jaguar Firecat type one, mate. Just you want a lower power prod on it. You just want a simple crossbow and then have like 100 pounds odd prod draw weight on it. Flecton. Yeah, I was watching some of Todd Stuff's videos earlier, Richard, and there's some quite good ones. Oh, what an idiot, sorry, just commented, not you, Richard. But there's, yeah, there's, don't give him attention, Shackleton. If you keep giving trolls attention, this goes to anyone, you're getting a block as well, because that's what they want, so that's the last I'll say on it. Don't comment on them. But yeah, I was watching a load of Todd Stuff's videos earlier, and he has, you know, he did some good tests, and there was one, again, where the cheap Chinese compound crossbow outshot everything, just because, obviously, modern materials. Yeah, I just have to warn people on every stream, because people keep wanting to argue with them, which is what they want. Like I said, I won't say any more about that now. Don't worry about it, just don't do it again. No, I didn't know that, but doesn't surprise me, because DPM just means disruptive pattern material. Very overpriced. They're worth like $10 to $20. It depends which jacket you're on about, though, because they do loads of jackets. Some of them worth more than others. But yeah, $100 sounds very overpriced. Like in the UK, most Flecton stuff is anywhere between like £10 and £30, or maybe £40. It depends on what it is, but like the trousers and the shirts are like £10 to £20 each, and then like the raincoats and the like M65 style jackets are like £30 to £40. But even if you translated that to dollars, that's nowhere near $100. But I know in the US some of the stuff costs more because it's not as imported. I'd be at school when that happened. You know, like most people of our age range would have been. Because it happened during the middle of what would have been the time of day in the UK. Oddworld's Abe's Exodus is my favourite game. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Although it's probably too outdated for like modern people to play. In theory, yes, but there's not many, Nick. There's none near me anyway that I'd want to join, sadly. Otherwise, I'd have done it and done videos on it. Like, there are a few. Well, probably more than a few. But the problem is you have to be somewhere, you know, close enough by and free on the days where they do it that it would actually be worthwhile to do it. So for me, I'd have to, you know, like probably go 50+ miles to find one. So that's no interest to me. No, I don't play Battlefield 1, but I can tell you the Battlefield 1 has a World War II gas mask in it without a filter on it. So much for realism. Now I'll look that up though. Okay, so it was a domestic Portuguese one, was it? Looks quite good. I mean, there's loads of domestic things like that. It's like all the Spanish set-me rifles that are quite interesting that were like there. Things like that. And there's a load of Italian sort of domestically made submachine guns and things. Now, especially legally as well. But I'm not going to say any more about that. Yeah, there's lots of things like that, I think, where people kind of, you know, make up figures until, you know, stuff like that. Until, you know, it's proved either way. I mean, I know there could be differences a bit with some of the bows compared from, you know, like one to the other. But not that much. I don't actually know, but with a lot of the Soviet stuff, they skip numbers. Same with a lot of nations when they made stuff and numbered it numerically. Often the numbers just got skipped for whatever reason. No, never read that, Lelup. Oh, thanks, astronauts. I just got an email saying you supported me on Patreon. Once the stream ends, I'll sort you out a Discord link. Not that I use the Discord massively. I go in and see if anybody's really asked me any questions. If they have, I try and answer them. If not, I'll join the conversation if it's a sensible one. But a lot of the time, people on Discord are, you know, just like shit posting or whatever. Or, you know, just like talking about video games or whatever. I'll look that up. Oh, that's interesting looking. But is that a brand? So which type of one did you get? Because it seems more like that's a brand rather than an actual... There's some of those coming up look quite nice. Yeah, I don't have any moderators on mine, it's just me that does it. I think I've only actually had to ever ban one person off of it, or two actually. You know, I have a rules channel, so it's basically don't break the very few rules I have and then you're good to go, but you know, some people can't help themselves, I think, when it comes to things like that. I'm not a massive fan of the Metro game, so I have to see. I definitely won't pre-order it or anything like that. I might get it in a Steam sale afterwards. That sounds good anyway. Some of them that came up on Google Images look quite nice. Probably grey ones. The only black Soviet mask I've got, if I remember right... Oh, no, I've got two, because I've got the PDF children's mask, and I've also got the... GP5M. I've got two GP5s, one's black, one's white or grey. And I don't think it makes any real difference, but I just say grey because most nations make black gas masks, so the Soviet ones being grey are a bit different. There's still never been a good explanation on why some Soviet masks are made in black and some in grey, because lots of people say they know for definite and then just make something up, because I've heard they were exports, they were for civil defence, they were for military use. They were for other Warsaw Pact countries' uses, you know, like all sorts of other things. They were to distinguish rank of the person wearing them. You know, what does that have to do with anything, Firewolf? He didn't say he had 100k subs. He said he moderates something for some of the 100k subs. There's a GP2. I don't know about a GP1 and the GP3, but there's definitely a GP2, which is a World War II mask. The Soviet civilian mask from World War II. No, I'll look that up, Richard, but I have no idea what that is. Right, that looks a really stupid thing. It almost looks like it should be a joke product, but I guess it's not. GP2s are really rare, and then GP4 and up are the common ones. Well, AGT, this is your last warning. If you look on my channel, you can see. Why don't you do that rather than keep asking me over and over and over again if I've done videos on something? I've got two MM1s, both of them from eBay at different time periods. There's loads on eBay. I had to find one for somebody the other day. You just literally type in MM1 gas mask and they come up. Well, unless you can verify that, Nick, it sounds like it's made up. I found lots of videos of crazy people on the internet saying that, you know, the FBI is stalking them or hacking their phone. You know, and all this sort of stuff, and most of them seem like crazy people. I was going to say, if people are watching the stream, please click like. I mean, you can dislike it if you want to, but interactions help send the notifications out on YouTube, which is the annoying thing with these, that, as I said, I've got nearly 50k subscribers now, and I never seem to get more than 50 people ever come onto a stream, so I'd assume that YouTube doesn't send out the notifications properly, just like, you know, with everything else they don't do properly. I mean, GCHQ, that's the bit of it that does certainly do stuff in the UK, but GCHQ isn't so much like they'd come up to your house and say, oh, you're being arrested for this. It's more like, you know, they do a trolling type campaign type thing. Don't say stuff like that. I'll remove your comment, Astronauts, but don't say stuff like that on these streams, please. Can't tell if that was a joke comment, Green Gamer, but it was held for review for obvious reasons. And it, you know, don't put stuff like that in YouTube comments, or YouTube will ban your account pretty quickly if you put stuff like that in. Yeah, well, don't make a joke like that again, because YouTube doesn't care if you make jokes like that, they'll just ban you. I suppose that makes sense, but at the same time it seems completely stupid not to just shave and put a regular mask on. Anything about that they're getting quite serious about. Like I said, I'm not going to say what you said, because I don't want to get you in trouble or anybody else into trouble, but joking about kind of like giveaway type scam type things, they're kind of cracking down on, because loads of people have been banned for it and then whinging about being banned for it, because there's loads of fake adverts on YouTube as well, where YouTube kind of allows all the adverts. Yeah, that is too personal, Lelup. I get asked that every stream. I'd rather not go into it. I know that's a good idea though, Shackleton. Oh, I have a Gmail, but it's not being handed out in this stream, if that's what you're asking. Yeah, that's better, astronauts. Like, saying that's fine, just don't say stuff that sounds like it could be a terrorist message. Although I knew it wasn't, it's just that, you know, anything you write online can and will be held against you. And especially because people seem to get in trouble over such little things. Sounds like I've had loads of negative comments at once now. But yeah, most of those comments are ones I'm fine with people making. I'll just remove them, but because it's not like people actually trolling those. It's just, you know. Yeah, that's the problem. Is a lot of it is automated algorithms where they just get stuff to crawl for a load of text, and then it gets kind of used against you if you make things like that. And then it's like, if you try and appeal it, you then have to hope you can get to a human and that person can be bothered to read through all of it properly. No, it was nothing to do with that, Green Gamer. It was the thing you said about the free giveaway type thing. That's why I removed your comment, and that's why it was automatically held for review by YouTube. Oh, if they didn't bullfrog, they'd be shut down straight away, because you can't operate a website without that, because nobody will want to work with you, sites won't host you. Yeah, I've shot a 22 long rifle bolt action before, years ago, and I think it was probably a 20 bore shotgun, but it was before I even did YouTube videos, so there's no videos on it, unfortunately. You know, this is going back to like probably 2010 or earlier. They did do a site bullfrog that was meant to be exactly that, and then it got shut down, because that will be sadly what happens. No. Like I said, I've done no cadet or military type stuff. Yeah, so they kick you out over like pretty small things then. It's just however they're designed. Lots of them don't. GP5s don't. Israeli masks don't. Don't really know what you mean by that, Lullup. I don't think I have one. Yeah, well, it's exactly what I've said before, Bullfrog. There's no point in the UK actually going for a firearms license if you do videos or even do much online, because at any point you can say something, they won't like it, and then that's your gun gone, and all the money you've invested and everything into it, because they can just seize them legally. So you only rent guns in the UK, you don't actually own them. No, I like open L knives. I've said that before in all the videos I've done on them. No, you'll just have them seized and that's it. Gun license revoked, gun seized. That's it. It's not like a buyback thing. It's literally if they decide they want to cancel your license at any point, they can just take them. So some people have, you know, like lost thousands of pounds worth of firearms because they own multiple firearms and ammunition, all perfectly legally. They say or do something that gets them in trouble that's not even a criminal offence technically, and then that's your license revoked. Yeah, I don't think you'd even have to say something, Lifu. I think it's like, you know, I think it's like basically if they want to take them, they will, and then they'll invent a reason for doing it. It's anarcho-tyranny, Bullfrog, where there's tyranny of the state towards hard-working people, but there's anarchy towards actually enforcing laws against violent criminals. Well, like we said, Mophead, there's two parts to it. There's one side of it, which is the police are used for political suppression, and then there's the other part of it, which is if you're a violent criminal, you probably don't have much to fear because the police are too scared to go after you or don't have the resources to go after you. No, I don't have any World War I masks because I don't want the responsibility of trying to keep something like that in good enough condition and not damaging it. Plus, it's hard to sometimes tell what's fake and what's real. Yeah, I've had lots of people, Richard, that say to me, oh, you can't have a sword in this type of steel or a machete in this kind of steel. That's useless, even though they prove to work. That's a Scott GSR in the thumbnail. Yeah, I think they push lots of those things through gradually. Like they'll do it in Scotland first or whatever, then yeah, they'll do it here. Like if there was an airgun license type thing, I'd definitely have to apply for it simply because I don't want to lose my airguns. But, you know, the difference is, you know, if I didn't have those things and there was a license, I wouldn't then, you know, go out of my way to get the license and everything for them. I mean, I already have a gun safe for my air gun, so that's not a problem. But, you know, see, how I look at a lot of the laws, you shouldn't restrict lots of people from having stuff in the first place, but you should come down hard on them if they actually do break serious laws. But lots of laws we have now are the opposite of that, where if you actually do a proper crime, if you even get arrested, you won't get a harsh sentence, but they'll try and, you know, ban everybody from owning things in the first place in case they use something for bad intent. I don't know, it might be to do with them not being plated. I don't know, Mophead, it's just they are simply better quality. Yeah, like what Bullfrog said as well. Astronauts, the problem is here we have a first past the post system, which means even if you had an independent party that came along, were really popular, they wanted to do the right things, they can't win against the two main parties. Because even if they got a majority of the vote, unless they get that majority of the vote in each individual area, they'll still lose. Yeah, in the UK, if an airgun's over 12 foot-pounds, it's classified as a firearm and you need it on a firearms licence. But under 12 foot-pounds, it's the current system, where unless you're in Scotland, you just have to show ID when you buy it. And I think, in theory, it has to be kept in a secure location. Obviously, there's no way of them checking that after you've bought it. You know, you're not allowed to modify it to make it more powerful. So, you know, and you can't do illegal things with the rifle. So how the system currently stands is quite good. You know, you can buy the gun without a problem, but then if you do stupid stuff with it, you know, you could face criminal consequences, which is how most of the laws should be. Not, you know, oh no, you can't buy that in the first place, sir. America. That gets asked every stream. I don't know where in America, because I don't think I'd actually be over there, but you know. No, don't have any Norwegian or Swedish military uniforms other than having 2 Swedish gas masks. Well, you might get more enjoyment, I'd say, out of the guitar with a deactivated gun. once you get that, if they change the laws again, I doubt they'll change the laws on guitars, but with a deactivated gun they could say you can no longer have this, or you can't sell it or buy more, so it'll have to be re-deactivated or whatever else. That's why, although I could afford, there's a couple of deactivated guns I like the look of, I've not, you know, been that inclined to buy any of them now. You don't have to play a certain amount of times a month. It's that you can't play too many games in a short span. It's like you have it. Basically, I think it's that, you know, like over the course of 2 months, you know, you can't play more than. It's not that you can't play the games. It's they only count towards your UCARA if you've gone over several months. You know, to show that you actually want to take part in the sport. Because in theory, if I go to my airsoft site again, I've then done my 3rd game, but. You know, I went once a few years ago, once last November, or maybe it was the November before that. Yeah, it was the November before that, I think. And then I haven't been again just because now I work weekends, which makes it more difficult. You know, some of the friends I go with work weekends. The nearest site's not too close. So yeah, that's the problem with the UCARA system, is as much as I'm not going to do anything stupid with the airsoft gun, because I have, you know, far more dangerous things that have less laws applied to them. There's just, you know, there's no motivation for me to jump through the hoops to get a UCARA, which isn't even a proper solid protection thing anyway, as we've mentioned before, as much as airsoft fanboys like to pretend it is, because they're sort of statists. Because I've had lots of airsoft fanboys say, oh, you're giving out misinformation, the UCARA is a very fair and good system, you must be a criminal if you want an airsoft gun without jumping through all the hoops. Yeah, I like Texans, but the climate wouldn't suit me. I don't think that far south, because I like colder weather rather than hot weather. I'd say a city would be worse, but high populated suburbs wouldn't be nice anyway. In most of those scenarios, you're better off in the countryside. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like saying the nearest site to me is 30 plus miles away. I think it's not close, and that's the nearest one. And of course, with the UCARA, you have to go to the same site. You can't go to one site, then go to another one, then go to another one. It has to be the same site 3 times. And then you have to hope the same members of staff have been in, I guess, to remember that you've been in. Because if there's different people in on different like days for airsofting, they might not know you've been as enough times. Yeah, but you can get done for 10 years in prison for that, Kern. So maybe don't. Yeah, I've said before, that's a GM54 Atomic Commando. Or you can buy an air rifle that looks like a 1-1 replica of a real gun that could actually kill somebody, you know. I'm saying that's the stupid thing with the airsoft law. It was done as a knee-jerk thing because, you know, loads of people were whinging, oh, you can go into a shop and buy a realistic-looking gun, so therefore nobody should have them, and then they compromise by making these, you know, all these hoops to jump through. But I've talked to people, you know, sell airsoft guns in airsoft shops, and they think the law's, you know, stupid because it doesn't really fix the problem. Well, yeah, air pistols fall under the same category as air rifles, so they can look as realistic as possible, and there's not, you know, a thing. Flectarn, that was asked like 10 minutes ago in this stream. Did yours come mummified as well? Yeah, it depends where you get shot or stabbed. I mean, yeah, fuck getting acid thrown on you. But, you know, a bullet is going to do just the same amount of damage as a knife. If it goes right through your vital organs, it won't make a difference what it was. Yeah, the same with air pistols and air rifles. There's no rules about how they have to look, as long as they're under 12 foot-pounds of energy. So if you have an airsoft gun that's basically designed not to hurt people, because it's for a sport where you shoot them at other people, then they have to be bright orange and whatever else, unless you've got your license, which is, you know, is a license, but it's not a license kind of thing, because it falls into a stupid grey area. But if you buy an actual air gun that could kill somebody, well, no, that's totally okay, because that doesn't need to not look like a firearm. You know, like I said, the laws make no sense on it. But when I did a video, you know, pointing that out, I had so many airsoft fanboys that, like I say, I'm a massive statist, attack me for it, saying that, you know, no, you must have criminal intent if you actually want an airsoft gun just for the sake of having an airsoft gun. Yeah, like I've got a really good Cymer M4 copy that's actually licensed by Colt, and that's nice because it's, you know, the right weight and everything, but it's got the plastic furniture on that's clear plastic, and the good thing is the furniture you can swap out, so it's not painted two-tone, because it's the one, you know, I wanted to play a load of games with to get my Ucara, and then I could get whatever myself, and then I could legally convert that to be black. But because I don't have the Ucara, although I could just buy plastic furniture for it online and fit it, I've then, you know, done a serious offence according to the law. Maybe, again, the law's not really clear enough on it. It's one of those laws they'll do you on it if they want to, but, you know, as I was saying, it's a really stupid law. Yeah, I mean, the people who get very upset about technicalities of law, Bullfrog probably are. No, I'm on about my M4 Bullfrog. It's an airsoft gun. My M4, I'm pretty sure I know what my own gun is because it shoots 6mm BBs. Oh, are you saying you've got an M4? I don't... If you're on about one, yeah, whatever. I'm just saying, like, the one I've got is an airsoft gun. Oh, exactly, astronauts, but unfortunately lots of people in this country really love all the statism. You know, that's what they want more of. They want more, the state to have more power and then to have less, and anybody who doesn't like that, oh no, there's something wrong with you, you must be a criminal. Why don't you want a bright orange toy gun? Why do you want it to look realistic? Because apparently a lot of the people who get the Ucara type things actually use them because it's cheaper than buying deactivated guns or other replica guns, you know, just getting an airsoft one. I wouldn't say so, Caleb. It's more like you just blow your own hand off, I'd say, if the can gets too hot. When you say nylon, you mean stockinette, Atomic Commander. You mean the Mark IV GSR. Yeah, exactly, Richard. And that's the thing, Liffy, like I was saying, the one where I've got, like, the clear plastic or the crystallised plastic, whatever you want to call it, doesn't look too bad, because it looks like you've either got one camouflage for an Arctic scenario, or it doesn't stand out too much. Again, I wouldn't want it to be that colour, normally. But the main reason I picked that one in the shop is because you can swap the furniture out and it's a decent quality gun. Whereas in a lot of the shops, the only ones they sell at a two-tone are like the really low-end budget ones, which are like really low quality as well, and are going to break. Because one of the reasons I just wanted to get airsoft guns is so you can get stuff that's cheaper than deactivated guns. But sadly, the law being what the law is in the UK, no, that's not an option. Yeah, I've had people on here, astronauts, tell me how I'm wrong, and, you know, all these things about whatever in the UK where it's turning into more and more of a hellhole. But no, if we just ban more stuff, you're wrong. Like the people who keep trying to argue with me, if we ban more and more types of knives and make more laws on about carrying knives, that will stop knife crime. No, it won't, because the people who stab each other with the intent of maiming and murdering do not care about less powerful laws that limit your ability to carry a knife. Oh, I see what you mean, Bullfrog. Yeah, I get you now. You're like saying you want like decent air rifles that look like rifle replicas. Yeah, I totally get you now. Sorry. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, they might Randy Weaver you, Peach, if you saw that off, like what the ATF did to his family. I know you're in the UK, not America, but still. I think your previous comment got deleted, Atomic Commando, because I saw you on about stocking it, then it looks like where you're saying about the VM38, like YouTube's auto-deleted a comment you made. Yeah, exactly, this is the thing. It's like, when I used to work in a city, there used to be violent crime in the city all the time to do with, like, drugs and homelessness and whatever else. You know, all that sort of stuff. You had all the stuff like that. Generally no police in sight. And then, yeah, let's say they've made laws that say, you know, you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, that wasn't stopping any of the criminals there because you need police there to catch them in the first place. Yeah, exactly. There's making a law to stop people doing something who have no intention of following the law anyway. You know, it's never going to work. Okay. You just written it like you were saying something else. I'll be streaming for about 5 more minutes or so and then I'll finish. Might go a little bit longer if we still got people watching, because there's 34 people watching now. The views have gone up a bit. Yeah, sadly there's not many gun shops near me, Bullfrog, and because we've got the stupid laws where you can't have air guns delivered to your house anymore, I've not had much interest in getting more air guns. Just because, you know, of all the... Again, like, I'd need to go quite far away, costing me petrol, then parking, costing me stuff, to go to a gun shop to hope they've got stuff in. Yeah, there's loads of stuff like that, Richard. Yeah, that's the point where... Well, according to lots of the statistics now, which of course are not easy to get at because they're trying to hide them, there's loads of things like we now have more shootings per year with pistols than at the height of pistols being legally obtainable. So the pistol ban has done nothing to prevent pistol crime. Oh yeah. I assume you know what happened in Australia, don't you, astronauts, when they had their big firearm ban in Australia and they took rifles and shotguns away from loads of people living in remote areas. They were targeted for, like, home invasions because nobody in the house could legally defend themselves anymore. You know, and farmers had lots of problems because they couldn't shoot pests eating their livestock and stuff like that. That's fairly decent. Because when I've seen most of those, they were like 30 plus quid for deliveries. If I could get an £18 delivery for a Daisy Red Rider, and it's like a guaranteed time slot, so I know when to wait in, I'd definitely do that. But yeah, I'll have to see. Yeah, Daisy Red Rider isn't like a powerful air gun, it's just one of like the really popular ones for like shooting cans with. Where it's got, you know, like, I think you can probably put more than one pellet in it at once or whatever. Even if you can't, it's very quick to shoot. But you just use like the underlever to actually, you know, like the underlever cocks it, and that's all you need to do. So it's, you know, like a low, essentially low energy air rifle, but fun if you just want something to shoot for fun. There's a good airgun shop near me, but again, it's one you have to travel to, but they mostly cater to, you know, like very nice air rifles, which is good if you want to buy types of stuff, then they're not really going to have it in. L1A1 SLR IPF. Well, yeah, but sadly I think that's the way lots of these things are, where, yeah, criminals will target the people most restricted by the laws. Well, neither, because I wouldn't join up in the British Army, Ronnie. Oh yeah, if you look at the violent crime rate in London, you know, just look at how that keeps going more and more insane the more they try and restrict and ban things. Because, you know, rather than actually having police that do the job of policemen, rather than harsh sentences for people committing horrible crimes, just restrict, you know, free people's rights more and more. Interesting. Yeah, that's good to know. Thanks, Bullfrog. But yeah, like I say, just previously, whenever I'd looked into it, it was always like £30 plus for a delivery, plus the price of the gun. It just put me off doing it. Yeah, Sweden has like grenade attacks nearly daily now, don't they? Lots of the ghettos they've made in Sweden, just because, you know. Yeah, you can't legally own hand grenades, but that doesn't stop criminals throwing them at each other. Like, there's some really scary images you can see of some of, like, the things they've intercepted, and, you know, they found, like, crates and crates and crates of assault rifles and machine guns and RPGs that were just heading to, you know, who knows what, criminals and terrorists in all the European countries. There's one, you know, there's a really famous Spanish police one where they've got like an entire warehouse full of rifles and grenades and machine guns and pistols, you know, that have all been seized when, you know, they caught like a smuggling operation doing it. But you think that's only the stuff they've caught. How much of this has actually got through? Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just look at the war on drugs or anything like that. You know, they go to all these extreme efforts supposedly to try and clamp down on it, and it does absolutely nothing but make the criminals more violent and, you know, more, you know, everything. Yeah, exactly that, Kern. Alright, see you, Richard. Thanks for watching. But as I said, I'll probably be off fairly soon anyway, because the stream's been going for over an hour. I'm hungry now, I want to have some dinner. Alright, cool. Like I think I've said before, there's an actual surplus store that's not too far away from me that I want to go to at some point with about £100 and just buy loads of the camo they've got in. But I haven't decided when I'm doing that yet, but I will do that at some point. Alright, so I need to remember as soon as the stream's ended, astronauts, to send you your Discord invite. So I'll do that then. Thanks for everybody else who's been watching, especially all the people making sensible comments, because as I said, I've unfortunately had to block a couple of people tonight. Well, a couple of people for trolling, but that's generally a usual thing because live streams are magnets for trolls, so they want attention. But for the people who are just constantly asking, have I done a video on stuff where they could search for themselves, and after I've told them, you know, to search next time, they just keep doing it because they can't be bothered to actually do a search for themselves. So like I said, that does annoy me because YouTube's search function works well enough for everybody that it would work. Right, so yeah, see everybody, thanks for watching.